Everybody. Hey. Have to wait for Kasama to flap. Oh, she's flapping her wings. That means it's time. I want to make sure the cue was obvious and not like just like a point, because it can be confusing. Sometimes people point a lot. A lot of you doing the ones right now. I see it. So thanks for being here. Thanks to all the media that came tonight, whether here or in attendance as well. I want to thank Scotiabank Arena for tonight and for this whole weekend. Been incredible hosts. Toronto is always a phenomenal market for us. Canada in general is, as John said earlier, and it's because of the unbelievable fans here. Just I said something in the kickoff show the other night about how loud France was, how loud Scotland was. They certainly made an effort here. It's arguable, I suppose, who is the loudest, depending on venue, but certainly made a play here for being one of the loudest venues we come to. Also want to thank Trish Stratus for hosting tonight. You know, it's always wonderful to have her back here and be a part of what we do. True legend in our business, and always has a home here, so thank you to Trish. And then I really wanted to talk about John Cena for a second, just his, I forgot I had my glasses on my head. John's contributions to the business, second to none. A lot of people talk about legends and icons, and you know, so much speculation made around who would be on the Mount Rushmore or whatever that is. But I don't care what metric you use. John is at the top of all of them. He's had an unbelievable career that I'm incredibly proud of to have seen sort of from the beginning. Seeing him as a representative of this company before he ever got hired by this company and went to OVW, all the way to now at a point where he's calling his own shot on how he ends it. Most people don't get to do that, and most people could do that and then choose not to. I don't know why that is in our business, but I think that's the best way. I think it's for an athlete, for a professional, for an artist, for whatever you want to call and label what we do, to be able to call your shot in and out, to be able to walk out healthy, happy, content. That to me, that's where it is. And I'm happy that John's able to do that. And I think it's going to be an exciting 2025. I can't wait to watch it unfold, but it's going to be an incredible year. That John just continues to make a lot of memories and a lot of moments for people, while they in return get to make those final memories and moments for him. It's always been a part of what John does, which is sort of this connective tissue and back and forth with the audience. And I'm excited for him to get to do that for a whole nother year and then call it a day on his terms. And that's exciting. So, but for me personally, I just want to say thank you to John for everything he's done, for WWE, for all of the superstars here, and for what he's done just for sports entertainment, for pro wrestling, for all of it in general. Against his will, a while ago, he was being called the greatest of all time, I believe. But he truly is. I believe that. So thank you to John. Like I said, incredible weekend. Started out with Sammy's comedy show. I had no idea Sammy was comically inclined. I don't think many of us here had any idea. I'm not sure if his show was funny. You guys would have to tell me. I wasn't there. I see heads shaking, so thumbs up. So I'm happy for Sammy. It was very popular, and I think something we'll do again in the past, but a great way to kick off this weekend on Thursday, SmackDown last night obviously was off the charts crowd-wise here. Money in the Bank tonight, and NXT Heatwave here tomorrow. So just an incredible run. We'll have done over 45,000 tickets through the weekend. We had a record house here of 19,858, which was a highest arena gate for WWE in Canada in history. So very good there. And it looks like with initial view will be record viewers for Money in the Bank across platforms. So very exciting. Not that it's very far away, but Canada technically is part of our international growth. I think that you see, and I want to reiterate one more time what I said last PLE and last press conference, which is that drive for us as a global brand continues. When we make the move to Netflix in January, I want to reiterate it, 80% of the globe will be seeing the PLEs, Raw, SmackDown, NXT every week. And that's an impressive stat. So we want to make sure that, and let me just reiterate beyond that, as time goes on, the rest of the globe will pool into that as well. So it's an exciting time for us, and a time for us to go visit people everywhere and go put WWE and what we do. It's amazing to see us on TV. It's even better, just a much more incredible experience to see it live and in person. So we look forward to going around the globe and seeing everybody. Thought we had a spectacular event tonight. Very excited that so far everybody seems to have come out unscathed, banged up, bumps and bruises, but nobody seriously injured, which I always hold my breath on these events. You want to see people have the best outing that they can possibly have and make memories, but do it safely. And we were able to do that tonight. So I thought a lot of people, and I'm not going to go through the whole card because it's been a long night for everybody, and I'll get to your questions here, but a lot of people had what I feel like were breakout performances tonight, whether that's Andrade, whether that's damn. It's been a long night. Carmelo, thank you. Tiffany Stratton, just Chelsea Green, just so many people had breakout moments tonight. Incredible night. Braun Breaker continuing to show that just how good he really is, even in defeat, and how good, he's been doing this a very short period of time. His time will come. You can see it in him, right? It's there. Sami Zayn, I heard Sami saying, what does he have to do to prove it? He's already proved it. He's proved it every night, but it's what he does. He's an underdog. It's what he does. But he's proved it to everybody how good he is. There's no question anymore about how good Sami Zayn is. But I thought everything was a great night. A few things here and there would have done differently, no different than any other time. But with that, I am going to open it up to questions.
Hey, Paul. Jan Murphy, Toronto Sun.
Hey.
You talked about Toronto and coming here, and you touched on 2025. With the Netflix deal coming and what you were just saying, is there any possibility of another event here in 2025 in Toronto?
I would say there's... Toronto might be tough. I'm not 100% sure on that from a PLE standpoint. I'm sure from a TV standpoint, obviously we look at coming here a lot because of the reaction that was here tonight. I'm sure Canada will get another massive event before the end of the year. Where exactly, we're still working on, but look, whether it's Toronto, whether it's Montreal, whether it's Monday in Ottawa, whether it's Vancouver, whether it's Calgary, fans in Canada are amazing. We want to come and perform in front of them. So whether it's this year, whether it's next year, we're going to be looking to come back here as much as we can.
Emily May with Sportskeeda Wrestling and Wrestling News Co. We all saw the news, John Cena obviously retiring from in-ring competition. Is there a WWE Hall of Fame induction in his future, perhaps next year? And who potentially might be that person to induct him?
Yeah, that's a great question. Is the Hall of Fame in John Cena's future? Yeah. Then we build him his own. You know what I mean? It absolutely is. I am of the opinion that, and obviously myself, Nick, others will discuss this, but I am of the opinion that John has earned the right to say when John wants to go in the Hall of Fame. When it works for his schedule, he's a busy man. When it works for his schedule, when it works for his time, when it's right for him as a person, sometimes performers want to put some distance between what they did so that they can separate from it and then have a return sort of moment and feel that again after it's subsided. Answer for John the Hall of Fame is absolutely yes. When? I would love to talk to him about that. As far as who, one of my first questions when I would talk to John about, like, when do you want to do it? Who do you want to put you in? Like, that would be, to me, that's the respect factor. That's always our first question to Hall of Fame inductees is, like, who do you want to put you in? Who would you prefer to have do it? And if that's a doable thing, if it's not a doable thing, you know what I mean? It is, that it just goes from there.
Hi, Paul. Brandon Thurston from Russell Knox.
Hey, Brandon.
About a year ago, WWE disclosed that it was cooperating with a federal investigation involving misconduct allegations involving Vince McMahon. There's a civil lawsuit now that's been put on hold pending that investigation. Can you tell us, is WWE still cooperating with that federal investigation?
Yeah, I can't talk about legal stuff at the moment.
Hey Paul, Chris Van Vliet with Insight. Can you talk about the moment in the Damian Priest match? It looked like he didn't kick out, or it looked like he didn't kick out. What happened there? Is Damian okay?
Yeah, it looked like he didn't kick out. Yeah. Look, I'll let Triple H answer this question. Referee's decision is final. I'm looking forward to having a conversation with the referee to see what he saw that I didn't see, that you didn't see, that no one saw. Look, human beings in a ring, mistakes happen, things happen. It is what it is. But it's funny for me now looking at that. If that was something I was involved in as a talent, I don't care how good the rest of it was, that would be all I would think about. And to me, it's a shame that that's all people will talk about, and that's all people hit Damian Priest with, while he had a phenomenal performance tonight, right? But a bunch of people will attack that, criticize that, comment on that. I don't know why. That's just the negative so outweighs positive sometime. And to me, like, I wish I could just go in the back, shut off his phone, have no one talk to him for a while, and just let him think about all the other great stuff that happened in that, and the role that he's been on, and how great of a job he has done as world champion, and what he's done to get there and deserve it, right? Because that, he deserves all the credit in the world for all those things. And he has stepped up to a place where, when you see him as a performer now, I feel like I'm watching a champion come out. I feel like I'm watching a top tier guy. That's on him, right? That's how he has handled himself and made himself own that position. He's done an incredible job of it. I'm incredibly proud of him as a performer late in his career. Right? To get to this level, something that no one ever thought he would be able to do. He's got himself in incredible shape, done an unbelievable job. I hate for it to be like, oh yeah, you're that guy that didn't kick out the one time or something. You know what I mean? Like that's the shame part to me, because his performance tonight was off the charts, as was Seth's, as was Drew's, as was Punk's, as was everybody else in this show tonight. But it's just the way the world works, so all good.
We have one more last question.
Everybody, you say last question. So far, I've been standing in the back waiting for everybody to wrap up. I feel like I'm on the main event of one of those 7-hour pay-per-views where you're just like, please get the thing over with.
WrestleMania 18.
Thanks.
And don't read into that, Jesus. I meant one of ours. I was in main events of stuff that went 6-7 hours, dreading having to go out there to a silence, right? Just calm down.
Hi there, Keith Whittier with Auto Life Magazine. We look forward to rolling out the red carpet for you guys on Monday. I can't put it more eloquently than Paul Heyman did at the induction ceremony at the Hall of Fame. This company is absolutely thriving under your leadership, whether it be the Netflix deal, the new deal with Indianapolis bringing the events there. I look at the posters here. This is just a fraction of the amount of superstars, or as I like to call them, ambassadors that you have within this wonderful organization. What is the next thing that's got you really motivated and excited? Because it seems that you've checked off everything on the list in front of and behind the camera, and the company continues to thrive. Usually there's a bit of a lull after WrestleMania. No lull. It's like we can barely catch our breath. And again, I credit that to the organization, and again, it starts at the top. So from your kind of work bucket list, if you will, what's next?
Well, one, I appreciate the kind words. It's, I'm the guy that sits up here behind the microphone, so I get some of the credit for it, I suppose. But like, there's a massive team. I couldn't do any of it without them. It starts with, the guy that I consider to be my partner in this whole thing, Nick Khan. As we're moving through all this, I couldn't do any of it without him. So, he makes it possible for us to do all these things, Netflix deals and Indianapolis and all the other things and we're working on them together, but it's awesome. The incredible changes that Lee Fitting has made, which I've brought up before, but the team that sits behind him, that does all this production, camera crews, just staff, the TV studio that makes epic packages, and I think we do production like nobody else in the world. I think we do those kind of edits and that kind of build better than anybody else in the world. That's the team I get to work with every day. It's I don't see it. I just see I'm privileged to be able to come to work with some of the most talented people on the planet, in ring, out of ring, behind the scenes, behind the cameras. And for me, I feel like it's just letting them go. They're all amazing. And when we say, hey, just like do your thing, they just go do their thing. And, I'm usually blown away by it. They're just incredibly talented. As for what's next on the bucket list, dude, we're just getting started. I really feel like that. We got a whole fall thing coming up with CW for NXT, which, by the way, Sean is just killing it, right? That whole team, Johnny Russo, the team that's down there, Matt Bloom, everybody that's associated with that across the board, whether that's talent development, recruitment, NXT in general, just, I can't say enough good stuff about it. I'm in awe of what they're doing down there and their ability to do it, and tomorrow I'm sure will be no different. When they move to CW, when SmackDown makes the move to USA, when later in the year when Raw makes the move to Netflix, we're just getting rolling. We're lining up all this stuff that's going to happen. Then a lot of the changes you see now, we're slow rolling things out. When we get to the fall, when we get to the winter, there's going to be a lot. And, look, also, fortunately, I'm in a time frame where we have an incredible locker room of talent. And then on top of that, I go all right, so what's happening next year? Well, John Cena's going to come back for a year and do all this crazy stuff. It's going to be, there's just so much coming down the pike. It's awesome. And it's a wonderful position to be able to sit in a day-to-day place and think how great stuff is, but also think in the future and go, wow, they haven't seen anything yet. And that's where we're sitting. So I'm excited and look forward to the future. Now, Kasama, shockingly, do one more.
Okay, we have one more. We have one last question.
Hi, it's Mert Strapper from TMS. Just to go back to the John Cena point, when did you first find out that this was the plan, and when did you find out, or what was the discussion like to make the announcement at Money in the Bank in Toronto?
John's been talking about, you know, as you know, as media, right? Like, John's been talking about seeing the end coming. And I think for athletes, you get there and John's schedule and everything else, and this doesn't get any easier, especially when you're away from it, to come back from it as an athlete, to be gone, come back and, you know, go out there and basically put your body through a train wreck. It's tough. So, you know, you get to a place where mentally you love it and you think you can keep doing it. Physically, your body's telling you, dude, that's enough. So he's been talking about it. And then it just came to be of like hey, if I did it, you know, this would be a way I would like to do it. It was just a conversation that happened over time. And then, hey, what could the timing be like that on it? How would we work that out? There's a lot of T's and I's got to get crossed and dotted. But as I said earlier, John's earned the right 10 times over to be able to do this the way he wants to do it. And I'm thrilled to sit next to him and help him figure out how he wants to do it and how we can make that ride happen, not only for him, but for all of you. This will be extraordinary and phenomenal, and we've been thinking about it for a while. And as far as, you know, doing it here at Money in the Bank, the timing was just right. You know, not sure if you guys are aware of it, but secrets are hard to keep in this business. It's just like, so, you know, it was just once we got to a place where, like, we're just running the risk here of this getting out there everywhere. Let's just get out there and talk about it. So, yeah. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. Safe travel home. Enjoy NXT tomorrow.
They were with it, but it's cap. Aiming at your fitted, push it back.